Yo, what's up, guys? So I made a coding video yesterday, and it actually did relatively well, so I wanted to make another one. So this is a slightly larger project that I've been working on this summer, and it is basically, I call it a computer, um, and so as you can see here, this is the functions that it can do. So you can make it log stuff, you can make it show your logs, you can add to logs, you can calculate, you can play Hangman because I wanted to. You can search using a web browser opener. You can slash phone, so that was just like a phone catalog basically I made. You can do list, which can help you show what logs you have or what password usernames you have. You can encrypt and decrypt, and then you can email people. So I found some code where you can email people, and so I just modified it a bit. I might make some short videos just discussing how I made all this. So let's talk about logging first. So this part is, I know it looks like a lot, but it's pretty simple. So it's just a bunch of different parts sewn together. So we have our log file. So if you copy your any text file as path and just plug it in there, it can be able to, your Python code could add to this file, and that's where I'll be storing my logs. So we have our new log definition, right? So I have my all logs file, and what's going to happen here is what this section does is it opens the file, it reads the file, and for every line of the file it creates a list and then adds it to the all log. So it basically creates a list of lists. Now for our very first function is add. So you take your log title, which is going to be user input. So it's pretty simple. So your user input is whatever you put in. So whenever I say /log and then space and then I do add, and it breaks the user input, it's a list based on spaces. So what happens is it takes the second, even though it says 1, lists start at 0 in Python. So it basically takes your second word, which is add. So if it is add, then it activates this portion of the function, and it makes your title of your log anything past it. So I just said to it, like the third word and beyond is going to be your log title. And then log set 1 is just, it joins it with a space because like I said, it just cut off a part of the list, so it was still elements in a list. So then I turn it into a string, and then what I did was I put an underscore if the character was a space, and else you just put character for character. So it was probably not the best idea to use underscores, but because I was doing a lot of my listing and breaking it up based on spaces, I decided for whenever I was using spaces in my logs, I would substitute it with something, and I chose an underscore, which was probably not the best idea. I probably should have done a more obscure character, but it worked. It worked then. And so then what it does is it says for sublist in all logs, so it basically takes every list in all logs, and if log set is in the sublist, then it says temp log is equal to the input of log here. So basically checks if it exists. And so if it does exist, it allows you to input, it puts in the underscore, and it adds your answer to that sublist, and then it prints added to log set 1. Okay, so basically just says added to the name of the log. And so then at the end, if it doesn't find the log set in sublist, then it prints log set does not exist. So the log name does not exist, and it returns the function. So let's test this out. So if I were to just, here's the file where my logs are, and let's just add a file. Let's do testing, and then we could do hello. How about that? Hello, I am testing. Okay. And so if we were to save this, so now if we were to run this, we do /log add to, and the name was testing. And so now it says log here, and whatever you want to put in, I like coding. and enter, it says added to testing, and we can check this right now. And so if we check back to our testing file, it has another entry, I like coding. And now let's see the create function. It's very simple. One thing I forgot to mention before is the writing function. So remember how before I said that there was a way to read it. Now what I'm doing here is I'm taking the modified all logs list and basically just writing it back into the file. So I just wanted to point that out because it doesn't just magically appear in there. But now for our create function. So how does this work? Well, it says if the second word is create, then it activates this part. It creates your log title, substitute it for an underscore, substitute spaces for underscores, and then it checks if it already exists. So it checks if that log name is already taken. If it is, it says log already exists from right here, and if not, it just moves on. So it says log here. It creates your answer. For every space, it puts in an underscore, and then it creates a new log, which is basically just name and the log part of it, like what you actually wrote into it, and then it adds it to all logs, and then it says created log. So if we were to run this, we do /log. Let's test out the part that checks for already existing logs. So if we were to create a log that says testing, it says log already exists. So let's try to create a new one. Log create, how about we do coding? And how about we do, I don't know, Python. How about that? I completely forgot I made a coding log. So Python. And it says log here. I am using Python. And it says created Python. And what we can do here is we can even add to it, where we can add to Python and say I am coding a computer. Boom. And it says add to Python. So let's check this. Well, let's check out the file itself. So if we were to look in here, we can see that we create a file called Python, and it says I am using Python, I am coding a computer. And now for our final part, this is going to be delete. So I did code this a little wonky, but it's the same start. It tests for delete, it creates your title, and then it basically just checks all the different sublists in our logs, all the different log names, and if one of them matches, it will remove it like this. It will say log was deleted, it will write the file, and it will end the function. And then what this says is if none of the names match, then it will just say it doesn't exist, and it will return. So I wrote it a little wonky. I don't really know why. This was when I was still kind of new to coding. But let's test it out. So let's try to do log delete. Let's do something random, okay? It will say that does not exist, right? But let's try to delete. How about we delete testing, okay? Testing was deleted. So let's check. And now we can see that it is deleted. So yeah, that's my log function. It's kind of bulky, but it works. And so if you guys like this, if you like me making videos like this, feel free to comment. And I might make another one soon. So yeah, that's kind of it. Peace.